Basketball lifestyle. It's my lifestyle.
Okay, so technology in the game. That's where I wanted to get to. Have you seen the Vandy players using the wrist displays?
I have not seen the Vandy players.
So
using
basically, they're wearing like it's just like a elastic band with just like a LED screen, and it tells them what pitch is coming. The whole team has it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think there's levels to having technology in the game.
Wait. It tells them what the other guy is throwing?
No, it tells them what their pitcher's throwing. So the coach tells.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Way you had described it, I'm like, wait,
Sorry. No.
That's worse than the Astros. We were just talking about this.
No. That's much worse. But yes, so the coach puts a sign in for catcher, pitcher, and then the whole team knows where they're at with it. So make defensive adjustments and things like that. I think it's over the top for what. I'm all for having like technology like in the game and analyzing different things and all the different uses that it has for it. But I think once it gets onto the field like that, it would be like if the quarterback had a wrist screen and it's like, hey, this is the play. Look at it. And I think like.
But I actually don't think that that's a bad thing.
Sure, that'll probably be really cool and probably would help a lot of like people to get their plays off. It's actually a really good idea. Somebody should tell somebody about that.
Patenting it right now.
Yeah. But I think in baseball's perspective, I don't like that that's a thing. As a purist, sure.
So this is the point that I think you and me get back and forth into. At my core, I'm a football guy.
Mm-hmm.
At your core, you're a baseball guy.
Yeah.
So I look at the game much more as a fan
mm-hmm.
and less as this is my game, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that you don't want to see it change much from how it was for you.
Sure.
I just don't think that matters too much. Like, yeah, all the guys could look in and they could see, right? Like, they could signal to each other and everybody could know. The coach could align them ahead of time
mm-hmm.
and know kind of what the pitch is, and everybody would kind of have a rough idea. I just don't think it matters that much. Like, what's your big issue about what it does, separate from what's already happening where they're using analytics to align people before the pitch anyway?
Right.
The pitcher knows what he's going to throw, and he's moving guys over before he throws it.
Right. So my thing with it is it's honestly less about like competitive advantage or anything like that. Is because it kind of, if anything, as a hitter, if you see everybody shift to one side because he's about to throw you a curveball, great.
Yeah.
Now you know something. But I think it's more of just like, you're taking away some of the aspects of like what you need to know to be good at the game, if that makes sense. Like as a pitcher or as a catcher, like having to learn how to call your own game, or as an infielder, like having to relay signs and do different things so that you're.
I'm just here to break the world apart for you today. I'm here to watch the world burn.
Fine.
Do you use a calculator?
Sure.
You took away the purist of doing math yourself.
Fine. I don't think that's the same thing.
Do you use a word processor? You've taken away the purism of going and learning a word yourself in a dictionary and understanding the actual true meaning of it,
mm-hmm.
separate from just typing some words on a screen. You've lost the soul of the word. Do you use Google when you don't know something? You've taken away the beauty of going into an encyclopedia and figuring out what it is.
But I don't think that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's because you're a purist in your thing. You don't want to change what you need to know. I'm saying I don't want you to.
I'm all for the game evolving.
How to learn how to do all the math.
I'm all for the game evolving. But like, I just feel like there's some things that just take away from like what it makes it the game.
No, that's the point. You're trying to make it that it's more than the game. You're trying to make that the rules are more than this is a game.
But I'm not talking about it being a rule.
I'm saying at the simplest that you are, you want to take away that they can use it. You'd like them to not use it. That would mean that we need a rule to take it away, that you're no longer allowed to do this. At the core of baseball, the simple rules of the game are all that matters. Who is the best at hitting the ball, throwing the ball, catching the ball, and running? Whoever is the best at those things should win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can get an advantage by being smarter or this or this or this. You think me seeing something on my wrist is going to allow me to make a play like Derek Jeter and run up the first baseline? No, greatness still shines.
Sure.
This just, again, to me, it doesn't do anything that alters any any facet of the game that actually matters.
Right, and that's why I'm saying it doesn't impact competitively per se. I just don't think I don't think it's a necessity.
Neither do I, but I also don't think that it cheats the game at all.
Sure.
So then I just don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
You seem to care though. Get to why you care.
That's what I'm saying. My whole thing was I think we're trying to force technology where it's unnecessary. The first step was teams just having the wristbands in general, kind of like football. That was whatever, colors and numbers, and sure, I got that. It was plays versus doing signs, sure. But I feel like with that, it's just unnecessary. Where you could still do all how the game's been played, and it's fine. I just don't think it's necessary. That was my thing.
I don't think they know if it's going to be an advantage or if it's going to be nothing. Right?
That's
why I'm saying right now there's nothing to know. I don't see a world where they're going to get a massive increase from getting this.
Well, okay, so that's kind of my next thing was if that's allowed, right? The next step is okay. Well, if both teams have it, right, and then there's the camera with the signs, and then all of a sudden you have the pitch is coming on your wrist, and then now we're back to the Astros situation.
No, it opens up cheating, and again, our biggest worry about it being on somebody's wrist is it opens up the door of cheating, and baseball's a game of cheating. So your bigger issue is you're making it easier for the cheaters to cheat.
Yes,
I agree in that sense.
I think that's actually really where I don't like the door it opens.
Then I'm 100% with you, because if baseball has proven one thing, it's that it's an untrustworthy sport.
Yeah.
So why would you trust that we're going to use this not to cheat?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'm with you. So now NFL gets around stuff by they have technology, but they have old technology, right? But so is this cheating? You guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but we'll go through a little bit of stuff.
Sure.
Was Jared Goff a good quarterback for the Rams?
He was fine.
He got them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if your QB got you to a Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
Dennis raised his hand.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Right? With Drew Brees.
Yep.
So the reality is that getting to a Super Bowl is a rare thing for anybody.
Sure.
Right? You had to be better than just good.
Yep.
Right? You had to be good enough to be great. So Jared Goff was good enough to be great. Jared Goff got a giant-ass contract.
He did.
What was the problem and why they wanted to replace him?
Didn't he have to get all his calls from McVay?
So how is he getting the calls from McVay? So you guys all see hurry-up offenses in the NFL a lot more now. Do you know why a lot of young quarterbacks are running hurry-up, where they used to think that you didn't want to run hurry-up with a young guy because the young guy would make more mistakes if he was panicked and on the run? It's because your coach doesn't cut out of your ears until X amount of seconds are left on the play clock. So if you can get up to the line of scrimmage with 25 seconds left and you see the defense, the coordinator up in the booth can tell you what the coverage is. Is that cheating?
Is it cheating?
No.
No? Because it's a different game?
Hold on. Again, this goes back to all of us and our own morality of where we sit and where we go. Because at the end of the day, you still need to process, still need to see it, right?
Sure.
But what if that quarterback all of a sudden drops back, sees the man, hits it? So what quarterback do I think did that very, very well in his second and third year in the NFL? His name was Josh Allen. Josh Allen, they started to do that offense with so that they could tell him what was happening and teach him how to read defenses live and in real person. And Brian Daboll would tell him, yep, here's where the coverage is. And then they started getting the ball out faster. Mm-hmm. He could throw it quicker. They ran these hurry-up offenses with RPOs and everything else. They caused the confusion, but they were also in his ear telling him what was up. They have technology that then has been manipulated to assist. But the reality is that as long as everyone has access to the same thing, it's not cheating, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's that we all have a fair access to the rules. And as long as you then live within the rules, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's if they have those wrist guards, they only are allowed to wear them, I would say, if the other team has them too.
Right, and the other team did not have
And if the other team doesn't have them, you can't use them.
But I did see that like the NCAA okayed it, so it exists if you want to get them type thing.
For sure. I just think if the NCAA okays it, there has to also be a rule to it, because Vanderbilt baseball has a lot more money that they can spend on their players than some of the other teams.
100%.
Because of that, they're going to be able to have a technology advantage. This then puts us in a situation where it's pay to play. Now I literally can have the biggest money roll and I can tech my team out, right? What's going to stop us from having all our guys wear augmented reality glasses, right? Remember the Google glasses? If I step up and I got my sunglasses on and I have technology in and I see the pitcher, right, and I get the report on what he likes to throw and when, and that's now buzzing into my eyes as I'm going. Yeah, I still got to hit the ball.
Sure.
But if my team can afford that and your team can't, I have an advantage that you can't get into.
Yep.
So that's where I think that this goes back to cheating, this, that. There's always going to be, everybody's looking for the advantage when you're playing in a sport that you're trying to win a single trophy.
Absolutely.
Right? When there's pure winners and losers, everybody's looking for the way to win. Right? Some sports allow it to be, hey, pay to play. The teams with the most money are going to be able to get there. Sucks to suck. Figure out a way around it.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso style.
Haven't seen it yet. I know.
Wow.
I know everybody else has watched
Everybody
it.
pause real quick. So we got to pause this podcast. We watched my wife and I watched Ted Lasso over the last 3 weeks. We burned through season 1 in one day. She loved it. And I had been wanting to watch it, and she was kind of on the fence. She finally was like, okay, let's do it. It's her favorite show she's ever watched in her entire life. The term she used endlessly is delightful. Mm-hmm. You guys got to watch Ted Lasso. You have to watch Ted Lasso.
I've seen like clips from it, and it looks amazing. I just don't have Apple TV, so I haven't like gotten it.
I mean, that's where we share passwords, buddy.
Fair.
No, we do not. That is, against the law. We don't want to promote that.
Yeah, my morality says that that's fine. You're in my direct family. I'm not promoting that here's a free one for everybody in the world.
Here's the password. Wrong.
I pay for it.
Baseball lifestyle, it's my lifestyle.